Hello, welcome to today's edition of Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing us and joining us on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. It's our daily update on sports and exactly whatever that's going on in the world of sports. Like I always say, if you've not subscribed to the channel, it's imperative that you do so now. Subscribe to the channel, and then of course do turn on notification. We want to hear from you. We really want to hear from you. So of course, turn on notification. We want to hear from you. Subscribe to the channel, and then of course, if you're an old member of the Fiifi-Manfred community, it's imperative that we hear from you in the comment section as well. So let us hear from you in the comment section. Let us hear from you. Let us have a very good conversation in there as the conversation that we're having today. There's a lot to unpack. Is it Roberto de Zerbi? Is it Ruben Amorim? Who really can take Chelsea out of the abyss that they are in? For a club that they are in, they seem to be in a lot of issues for a club like Chelsea. But who is the man to take Chelsea out of the abyss? And in today's analysis, we'll talk about all of those things. Chelsea have updated also. There's Romeo Lavia that's back in training. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about a few other things as well in Chelsea Football Club. So stick and stay with us. Don't go nowhere. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. It's today's analysis, and we're going to get into it pretty shortly for you over there. So stick and stay. Don't go nowhere. So Mauricio Pochettino has been under a lot of pressure. If you've been listening to me, you know my take on Pochettino and if he's supposed to be sacked or not. From yesterday, there have been multiple reports that Chelsea are possibly going to sack Mauricio Pochettino at the end of the season and replace him with either of Ruben Amorim or Roberto de Zerbi. It is something I personally do not agree with, especially in the context of where Chelsea has a team and how I think that the team is growing, but albeit it's slow. Also, I agree that Chelsea could have done better, but in the context of everything that has gone on in the season, I want to give Mauricio Pochettino the chance, the benefits of the doubt for him to go again. And I think that he's the man that can turn the fortunes of the team around. It's a little bit difficult to make a cogent analysis of if Pochettino is a good manager or not, because especially with the Chelsea team, they need some time. And as a young team, you would agree that they really do need some time. One of the things that I find positive is that I think that the Chelsea ownership have to help Pochettino, because there is a tendency of he being a top manager. I know in a modern game where everybody just wants to win and nobody thinks about the process of winning, it's easy for people to give up on coaches like that, but it takes time. I think that Chelsea's fan base is one of the most toxic that anybody can have. So you look at how when Arsenal were going through their cycle, yes, there were people that were Arteta out, but there were not times where you saw managers being linked to Arsenal. Like stories were cooked that Arteta was going to be replaced in no time, like they do in Chelsea's state. It happens. Chelsea, you wake up every morning and Amorim, Pochettino, that's every time. And I kind of agree. I think one of the best things that the owners can do for Pochettino is what they are trying to do in supporting him with respect to other quality additions. I think Pochettino can succeed if they add up to his backroom stuff. And adding somebody like Bernardo Cueva, the set piece specialist for Brentford, into his team will be a huge one. Adding Jarrell, one of the top scouts also for Brighton, is going to be a huge one for Pochettino to help in scouting and talent identification and whatnot going forward into the summer. It's imperative that they do so. And I've seen people say, why are Chelsea going to get a set piece specialist from Brentford? Because he is quality, because he has proven that he's a top coach. And he adding to the team is a good one. You need that. When Anthony Barry left, I was expecting that the team will replace him just quickly, but he didn't do that. Anthony, of course, is going to lose his job in the summer, but I don't think that there's a Chelsea reunion for him. He's going to work with the Portuguese national team under Roberto Martinez in the summer at the Euros. So he has some job to do. Now, the bigger problem is Chelsea. Now, you look at Chelsea and you look at it, there are just 3 teams that consider less goals from set pieces than Chelsea. And 2 teams that have scored less goals in from set pieces than Chelsea. It means that under whoever, these are some of the additions you're supposed to be making to make the team better. For me, it isn't just sack this or do that. And I've said it several times that people make it seem as if once you sack Mauricio Pochettino, Chelsea's problems are solved. It's not like that. It doesn't happen like that. I've said these things several times and people even stop watching the channel. For me, that's my conviction. That's the truth. And I think that's how I see it. And whoever isn't just an average appointment, in my opinion, he's one of the best in the business, especially for Brighton and Hove Albion. And I think that once he adds to the team, there's going to be some quality. Now, if you look at what whoever can give to us, look at the height of Kowo, Desasi, Chaloba, you look at ball striking and then very good crosses like Mudrik, Enzo, Cole Palmer. And then you have very good ball strikers also at the edge of the box like Romeo Lavia and the likes. And definitely, it means that there's a prospect for set piece for us succeed, for just succeed through set pieces. And that's exactly what they ought to do. Again, under Bernardo Cueva, Brentford have scored 16 goals from set pieces last season, which was the second behind only Gianno Vio for Tottenham. So Tottenham have a set piece specialist. Chelsea have an unavailable set piece department. Always said that the Chelsea have the personnel to become one of the best in terms of set piece. It's just the fine margins, in my opinion. And definitely, if you have a coach like that, things are going to be well. Now, let us go back. Two things. Jose Feliciano had an interview. And in that interview, he told a lot of reporters that Chelsea isn't about... he didn't say that it's not about winning trophies. He said that the best thing is to make Chelsea a viable business entity. And not necessarily that. I've seen a lot of people quote the video, and I'm going to put the subtitles here, and say that Feliciano, they don't want to win trophies and whatnot. That's not it. Essentially, what Feliciano is saying is that you have to make the team a viable business model. And in a viable business model, it's about winning. He has to win before. That he has to win before. And that's exactly what you have to start doing. Get wins, try and get wins, and then later you can make the team a viable business model. But essentially, the end goal is to make the team a viable business model. And that's exactly what they want to do. So throughout yesterday, a lot of reports have come out, multiple, about how Chelsea are possibly going to replace Mauricio Pochettino with either of Roberto De Zerbi or Ruben Amorim. Just before I got on, I'm seeing the likes of Jacob Stuybenk and the likes saying that that's not true. Chelsea just appreciates De Zerbi and then Amorim, and that Pochettino isn't going to leave. I think that Pochettino, again, is not going to be sacked in the middle of the season. It's not going to be sacked now. Most likely he gets sacked somewhere in the summer. But even that, for me, is going to be a wrong decision. It is time for only Chelsea to make a proper evaluation of Pochettino's work and then go back into the drawing board to see how best they can support him and see him through next season. There are a lot of tactical failures, in my opinion, but I think that Pochettino is doing some certain things right. When I see a lot of the UK accounts on Twitter shouting on top of their voice that Poch has to be sacked, it's not good enough and whatnot, it's funny because that conversation isn't nuanced, in my opinion, and it's always at the extremes. Because you can't just say that, oh, Klopp just picks up young boys and put them into his team and then they start playing. That's a settled Liverpool team. And when a player is in a settled team, he tends to have it easier in terms of succeeding or settling in and then delivering from there. And that's exactly what you see from the likes of Kai Havertz when they walked into a settled team at Arsenal. It isn't easy for a player who goes into an unsettled team to succeed. Several times. There's a difference between Kamaldeen Sulemana and then Jeremy Doku in there. And when I say this several times, that for me, Kamaldeen is better than Jeremy Doku. But essentially, Jeremy plays for Manchester City. He's settled, plays good football. Kamal is with Southampton, doesn't really enjoy his game in there. Chelsea, most likely, per the reports, are going to be placed by either Ruben Amorim or Roberto De Zerbi. So, of course, it's important that we go through what these two managers have done. For Amorim, he's a young manager that went through his bachelor's, did a postgrad in psychology, went to coach at Braga, beat Porto in the final of the Portuguese Cup, won it for them, and then got a big job at Sporting. He has won in their first Portuguese Liga title in a long time, won 2 other cup titles in there for them. So he's a top manager. In the 2020 this season, this term, 10 games, first 10 games is unbeaten. Home form, he has played 12, won 12, drawn 0, lost 0. Away form, played 11, won 7, lost 2, drawn 2. Biggest win is 8-0 in January 2024. He's a top manager, trust me. He's one of the managers that will prioritize more in terms of build up ability, 3 at the back, and then be vertical, using a lot of his strikers to occupy in between the 2 center backs in there. So he's a top prospect. As if he has the charisma for a team or club like Chelsea is a different conversation altogether, and we'll have it later. For Roberto Zerbi, he's a top manager. His strength is in build up, his strength is in the charisma that he has. Everywhere that he has gone, a lot of his players say that he's the best coach. But is it really Roberto Zerbi or Ruben Amorim that can turn Chelsea around? In my opinion, I disagree. I think that if you're moving on from Pochettino, it has to be a tactical masterclass. In my opinion, it has to be maybe a Zerbi who is tactically a ceiling or a notch higher than Amorim or Pochettino. But the truth is, none of them is going to get results straight away. What Chelsea needs is to win. And if Pochettino starts winning now, all of the noise goes away. I said it with Graham Potter. I've seen people say that Graham Potter should have stayed longer because Chelsea could have done better on him. That's the thing with football and building of sides. You need to be patient with squad building, to stick with each other and stay together and then get results. See, this Chelsea situation now. Get back to the conversation later. My name is Fiifi-Manfred. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Thank you very much.